We interrupt this radio broadcast for a news break. Live from the PressCorps World Headquarters in Sunhaven, this is WPRSS and Ash Mayfield reporting. The war rages on in the 119th World Conquest as a Siva Valley conflict pitting the Wardens of the North against Messian Southern legions. It is now day 539. Breaking today, gains from Warden Weekend off-peak offensives almost obliterated by Colonial counter-offensives. Fighting in Fahrenheit Coast resumes as Colonial forces push Wardens out of Westgate, reigniting the bitter fighting that has plagued the region. And as a reminder, the PressCorps is focused on the Able Shard. First, right now, looking to our casualty office. Total combined casualties of the war so far are at 4.86 million casualties, almost nearing the 4.9 million mark. Very, very soon we will be hitting 5 million, which will be quite the milestone for War 119. Looking at total Colonial casualties, we are looking at 2.45 million, and Warden losses capped at about 2.41 million. The deadliest region now, as fighting has been reignited, is the Fahrenheit Coast, where total combined casualties there have topped 631,000, with 333,000 being Colonial and 298,000 being Warden. And now looking to our map. In the west, Colonial Naval Command reports that naval operations in Stemma Landing have been successful as Colonial Marine forces reclaim the eastern islands of the Hex. Wardens are pushed out of Westgate and pushed back into Fahrenheit Coast as the death toll climbs past 630,000 people. Colonial forces have reclaimed Victa and are staging further operations into the Fahrenheit Coast, hoping to pacify the region. And the siege for the Manacle and King's Cage resumes as Colonial forces once again reclaim areas to the south of the city and set up positions just across the river. In the center, Lockmore is once again secured by the Colonials as they have pushed Wardens back north and seized Fort Duncan in the Lynn of Mercy. And we report also the fall of Callahan's Gate back into the hands of Colonial forces has now brought the brutal fight back to the snow of Callahan's Pass, reigniting yet another hot area of this war, which has seen over 600,000 dead. Drownedville is also now resecured, as Colonials have re-established forward bases in Marvin's Hollow. And now in the east, Colonial Eastern Command has reported that the Clastra is being resecured after a major Colonial offensive that has seen the Treasury and the Vault fall back into Colonial hands. Colonial Theater Command has yet to provide updates about the gold reserves within. Owlet's Bight is now resecured in a rare sight as Colonial Regiment Winter Legion Logistics drives a battle train to resupply the highly contested region. Fighting comes to the endless shore, as bitter fighting is now seeing over 1,000 dead per hour on both sides, as Colonial forces attempt to bolster their eastern flank, which has historically been underperforming this war. And the figures remain under Warden control as Weaver's Pass sees some fighting. And now for a special submission from Notorious in the Roberts Love Games Discord, a special submission, a report from TFE 1/160th Armored Field Artillery Battery. We will remind that this is a special submission from another player and does not represent the PressCorps' own thoughts and opinions. Quote, Westgate had been a battleground since Sunday, after the fall of Fahrenheit Coast. Nevertheless, the Colonial regiments have maintained and established defensive lines around Lord's Mouth and Kingstone. Particularly, the TFV Artillery QRF force has been a fighting retreat from Rancher's Fast, inflicting as many casualties on the Warden frontline bases, infantry, and tanks as possible. However, the onset of new technologies on the battlefield have strived to turn the stalemate around at Westgate. With newer advanced artillery pieces, the regiment found itself once again arriving at Kingstone. Prior to its arrival, Colonial tank forces were harassed by infantry on strategic hills overlooking our defenses. Those who were out of range of the Wardens were skirmished by dreaded Warden tank lines. Upon assessing the situation, the 160th Battery went into action, immediately targeting a Warden bunker base that was being established as a spawn point. Afterwards, the focus turned to major defenses and tank lines. Despite this, the Wardens were undaunted and launched several massive combined arms attacks with infantry, tanks, and artillery. TFE assembled its SPGs and rapidly fired at the Wardens with concentrated fire. The Warden soldiers took positions on the hill were annihilated, while any Warden tanks that did not immediately retreat were decimated by our artillery or supportive tanks from regiments such as NEP and Bone. The destruction of the Warden offensive at Westgate has initiated a chain reaction to liberate the entirety of the Hex. And again, this was a submission from Notorious on the Robert Loves Games Discord, reporting for the TFV 1160th Armored Field Artillery Battery. Again, we would like to thank Robert for his collaborations with the PressCorps in allowing us to read submissions from his community. If you have a wartime submission that you would like aired, feel free to submit one on the Robert Loves Games Discord or at the PressCorps World Headquarters Discord. Looking to the home front, Seaver Aramco Petroleum Corporation files for Chapter 12 super bankruptcy today as creditors recall investments. The company reports several factors stating it found difficulty working in an active war zone, and prospecting the Stima landing waters proved to be more challenging than expected due to the array of sunken ships and bodies. And in the South, Messian Industrial Index trades 6 points lower today as government announces more supplies being sent forward to fuel the Colonial counteroffensive. Gold futures in that market still remain volatile. Looking now to our super weapon readiness dispatch, or the Sword. Today, as of day 539, Warden High Command operates a total of 52 storm cannons and 27 intelligence centers. The Colonials, on the other hand, have maintained a force comprising of 26 storm cannons and 16 intelligence centers. King's Cage still remains one of the highest concentrations of super weapons in the front, as Warden forces have no doubt dug in to defend the Manacle. Since our last report, the Wardens have not brought any additional facilities online, and the Colonials have reportedly finished construction of another intelligence center in the Terminus. And now to weather. Courtesy of the PressCorps Weather Storm Chasers. Folks, we are officially out of the woods for severe thunderstorm Rowan, but rain is still reported in the western regions. And soldiers are reminded to remain vigilant for weather changes that could cause wet, muddy conditions that will hamper mobility. Our weather forecast wouldn't be possible without the help of our volunteer storm chasers. If you'd like to know more about the Storm Chaser Corps, please visit PressCorpsGaming.com/winter or weather. PressCorpsGaming.com/weather. And the PressCorps reminds you to stand up and stretch. Because sitting down for too long can be hazardous to your health, and it's always good to stretch your back, stretch your arms, and stretch your legs. We've also opened up applications for regimental advertisements. Do you want to spread awareness of who you are? Then join the PressCorps Discord and make a submission, and we'll handle the rest. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to the freshly enlisted into our ranks who may have joined us for War 119 and the Infantry Update. We hope to see you on the front lines. Stay tuned for more news, music, and weather together on 121.5 WPRSS. Our next report will be soon. I'm Ash Mayfield, and you've been listening to the PressCorps, covering your world.
The PressCorps is an all-volunteer creative collective of reporters, broadcasters, artists, and more from the MMO video game Foxhole, developed by Siege Camp. Our mission is to engross our audience in and amplify the stories of this unique war ecosystem. The PressCorps was founded in 2018 by former Planetside 2 Radio Free Auraxis host, CaptainInArms. It is a separate community entity and is not officially representative of Siege Camp. For more information, visit our website at PressCorpsGaming.com. That's PressCorps Gaming.com.